yeah, I think we would find housing in Emerald and rest up for the night.
We will pick up with the next morning. That morning, you hear Emerald in full production. Unlike the quiet of the night, in Emerald, all work stops at a certain time, with the exception of restaurants and hotels and lodgings of that type. But there's no mining done. There are no shops open late. There might be a tavern or two, and that goes back to the culture of Emerald itself, where they don't believe in overworking. So people there have allotted breaks, and they really like to take time when needed.
Great. So, well, Zeta gets up and has her breakfast, and then she says, I don't know, maybe we should go speak to Rooster? I'm not really sure what we should do next.
Where you're staying has a wide variety of foods to choose from for the breakfast that's provided. There's steak, eggs, and sausage, general breakfast grains. There's also a type of porridge, and like berries and biscuits and such.
But after that, she turns to the other two and says, I don't know, maybe we should go check out Rooster, see what he's up to.
Let me finish my breakfast first.
Broxim will be looking for something that is vegetarian of the sort as his or something with vegetables as his druid aspect continue.
As I mentioned before, they do have porridges, and there's other options like potato stew or any number of like grains and cereals that you can have.
That sounds good.
I'll have a porridge too.
So, what do you decide to do after breakfast?
Oh,
Okay.
I think Zaida has a good idea.
Yeah. Seems like going to Rooster would be the next best thing.
As you leave, you see shops are starting to open, and the hustle and bustle of Emerald is really kicking into gear. And it's the start of a new cycle, a new week. So the environment around Terralina has changed. I need a perception check from Zaida and Celeste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zaida, you catch a glimpse of someone, but faces tend to blend, so you're not really sure. But Celeste, you do see someone very familiar. It looks like Eugene, the young man from Charwood, the son of the swordsmith.
Oh yeah, the little innocent boy. I'm gonna tell Zaida, hey, that looks like Eugene.
Eugene.
The guy we got the swords from.
Wait, the guy we got the swords from?
No, you don't know him, Broxim.
Oh.
See this white sword, that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
Nice sword. That's cool.
Yeah, thanks. Should we go talk to him?
Sure. I'm surprised he's in Terralina.
Right, that's a bit odd.
Is it a bit odd? Say so. I believe in you.
Okay.
How are you approaching him?
Just like slowly and friendly, and like we know him.
As you get closer to him, you see that he's talking to one of the shop owners, and this particular shop sells weaponry. And you hear the shop owner go, No, we don't need anyone. This is a family-run business. And you hear him go, yes, I understand. And he kind of hangs his head down.
We get him fired from his old job because we got too good of deals for him.
I know
I'm
his
starting
dad
to
was
remember.
mad, but I don't think he got fired. His dad was just mad, and then we ended up getting the sword. Oh wait, no, we did get the sword from him, didn't we? Like,
You guys did buy it fair, but you insisted on a discount, and the father was adamant that everything in the barrel was 100 gold each, and not a gold less.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't scam him, so he should have been fine.
Yeah.
You can always ask him why he's there.
Yeah. Hey Eugene.
Hey, Eugene.
Wait, you know me? Oh, it's you two.
Our old friend from Charwood. What are you doing this far out west?
Well, you see, things were getting kind of, you see, I thought I needed to make my own way in the world, and I figured that I could go to Terralina and take on an apprenticeship or maybe even open a shop. But everyone around here just keeps saying that it's family businesses and they don't share their secrets with outsiders.
Wow, that sucks.
Well, that's usually how it is.
You're right. I doubt that my dad would even take anyone on other than me or my cousins. Actually, I think he likes them better.
Well, maybe we can tell them how good you are, or you can show them a test of your skill.
Again, as you know, Eugene is a young man, tall, lanky. I would say he's about 17, and currently he's carrying this really large, oversized pack. It seems almost like it's twice the size he is.
What did you bring with you?
Oh, just some supplies. Basics. He sits the bag down and opens it up, and he starts pulling out tools. A hammer, some bellows, some clamps. I have some sample weaponry, some ingots.
You know what? Why don't you just sell it on the go, on your own?
I guess you're right. I could sell the samples that I have. At that moment, a couple of guards pass by, and one of them says, "If you try selling that here without a permit, we'll be sure to lock you away." He laughs as he swings his baton.
Why are they so strict with everything? Jeez.
Well, very iffy about everything.
You have met the sheriff, right? He's all about profit.
Can't make profit for
Okay.
yourself, huh?
Maybe this isn't the best place. Maybe one of the other cities will be better. Maybe I'll find opportunities there.
Perhaps. I don't know where, though.
I don't know, but I'm sure I'll find something. Can I get another perception check, but this time from everyone?
Nope.
Zaida, I guess you were looking in the wrong direction at the time, but Celeste and Broxim, you noticed something. Not exactly something, but someone approaching.
I'm gonna nudge Zaida with my elbow and say, "Look over there. What's that?"
As this person gets closer, you know who this is. It's Caraway May Darkmoon.
Hey.
What's she doing in Emerald? She's in the wrong city.
No, something that's the up. Something that's the up.
Even from here, you can tell she does not look happy at all.
Something is really up.
Oh boy.
Listen, kid. I don't know where you're going, but yeah, this ain't your town. We definitely gotta go, guys. We gotta go.
Broxim, are you really trying to run? Like, are you actually wanting to run away when you see Caraway May?
I would try to hide.
I'll just stand there because she obviously already saw us.
Roll a stealth check and tell me how you try and hide. There are some carts around, there's some barrels, there's some people around you could probably hide behind.
Okay, I would try and jump into a nearby barrels or something like that.
I will say there is a half-empty barrel of something nearby that you can jump into.
All right.
Lucky for you, you're not immediately noticed. Caraway May realizes that you've moved, and she says, "Get him, Clem." And you see the mechanical wolf that she has blink away from her side, and it reappears next to you guys next to your party and starts sniffing around.
Yo, that's scary.
Um,
I have a question, just to clarify where we left things. There was like a bunch of those orbs for like the shitty knockoff caster pistol orbs.
I still have some.
You guys still have a few of them. You decided to keep some, but the rest of them you sent Rooster and his people to go collect and bring back.
And they blew themselves up.
Possibly. When you were meeting with Cornelius, he did get a report from one of his guards that there was an explosion on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah,
Right.
from
So Clementine is sniffing around for Broxim, and Caraway May is still facing Zaida and Celeste.
Zaida just sort of looks her up and down, says, "Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? How can we help you?"
Caraway May says, "Is that other one around?"
No, he's not around recently.
She says, "I'm going to count to 3. If you're here and still invisible, there's going to be trouble." Zexus reappears with his hands up. Caraway May then says, "I've got a lot of questions for y'all, and you're going to answer them all."
do I have to?
You're hiding.
Do you say this out loud, or do you just think it to yourself?
Thinking to myself.
So Clementine is now sniffing around the barrel, and then she just kind of sits there, staring at the barrel. You don't see this, Broxim, but your party does. During this altercation, a couple of the local guards have taken notice, and they've started to section off this area and push crowds back. And one that looks like he might be in charge around here walks up to Caraway May and says, "Ma'am, I don't know what brings you here, but you don't have jurisdiction."
Dang.
She doesn't need jurisdiction. She's just talking to some friends. Mind your own business, sir.
Dang.
Dang.
What?
Okay, are you trying to be persuasive or are you trying to intimidate this guard?
I'm backing up Caraway May's authority. I'm sort of like, yeah, we're here with the sheriff, whether you like it or not.
Sounds like intimidation.
Oh no, I would rather be persuasive, thank you. Yes.
He starts to reprimand you, saying, "A citizen doesn't talk to a guard such as..." Caraway May then cuts a look at him and says, "Now you stay out of my business." And she says, "My jurisdiction is wherever I place my goddamn feet." The guard then clams up before stuttering and saying, I'm calling Cornelius." And then Caraway May says to the guard, "Good, you do that, and I'll tell him the same thing." She then turns her attention back to your group and says, "It's been nothing but trouble since you arrived. First, a bunch of 5-star bounties show up in my territory, and then secondly, a goddamn explosion goes off on the outskirts of my city with a bunch of dead livestock around.
Oh no.
Now, I check out the Amos place, and you know what I find?
What's that?
Well, what I don't find is the weapons he's been stockpiling. Instead, I find a bunch of freeloaders crashing at the place, wearing that same symbol." And she's pointing to the symbol on your chest, Zaida.
Zaida grins, says, "Yeah, they made it. Excellent. Oh, you're gonna love them. They're good news." She says, "We, the Hollow Battle Hands, we're on your side. All we ever wanted to do is find work and make some good coin. So, you said you have some bounties showing up. We'll hunt them down for you."
How do I know that your folks ain't the bounties I'm looking for?
What are you talking about?
I'm saying, do you have some sorted types with you?
I mean, well, I wouldn't say sorted. I'd say they know how to party some, but they're good folks.
Not long into this conversation, Cornelius shows up.
Yes, my friend.
What's going on here?
Just a conversation among friends. You know Caraway May. I'm sure I don't have to introduce you. But she came to have a chat with us. You know, we've done business with her before, just like we did business with you. We're busy folks.
Now, Caraway May, you know you overstepping your boundaries. Now, Errol, this is here my city, and I ain't gonna have you coming in here doing whatever you please. Caraway May just looks him in the eyes and says, if it wasn't important, you know I wouldn't be here.
Ooh, sounds like a pissing contest. Oh man, I'm glad I'm in this barrel.
I think we should all go have a nice conversation. There's a lot to be answered for here.
Of course. I have a
Why you say
question though. When you said there was an explosion, there were farm animals there? What and how does that connect to us?
Well, let's see. I know you've had dealings with Rooster,
Sure, he's a good guy.
and you've been at his place for quite some time after hours. And Clem got his scent heading back to his place from the scene of the explosion. I put two and two together, and I figured you're all in league together.
We work with him sometimes, but I don't know what this explosion was about. I mean, sounds like the person you want to have a conversation with is Rooster.
that's right, Zaida. You tell him. You tell it.
She says, I already got Rooster in custody. She starts looking around and says, let's get this conversation off the street. Cornelius, get some of your guards to escort them to the interrogation room. You don't tell me what to do. Guards, escort them to the interrogation room.
What?
And you all will be transported to the interrogation room of Cornelius.
But how would I be escorted? I'm in the barrel.
They know you're in the barrel.
Come on.
You hear some of the guards say, come on out now. And if you poke your head out, you'll see Clementine staring at you.
Hey.
And Caraway May whistles and says, come on, Clem. And you see the mechanical wolf teleport back to her side. With that, you're sent to the interrogation room. It's a stone room. In the center of the room is a long table with several chairs. There are several guards standing around the perimeter of the room. You sit on one side of the table, and Caraway May and Cornelius sit on the other. Caraway May says, you may not be responsible for the influx of criminals, and you say that your merry band of mercenaries are. Good, but the fact is, you were smuggling weaponry.
Zaida sort of glares at Broxim, but doesn't say
Brock-
anything.
Broxim puts his head down and says, why do we always end up in these situations? We just got in here, and next door, the mayor is putting us in an interrogation room. Others put us in interrogation rooms. Should we just live in an interrogation room? He'll look up at Zeta and have that look of like a child that did something wrong and know they did it. And
Caraway May says, let's get this started. Did you have anything to do with those weapons at Amos' place being transported?
I mean, we weren't there, were we?
She looks at you, Broxim. You might not have been there.
Right.
But
what?
Besides Amos and his gang, all of which are dead, thanks to you, you four are the only ones that knew what was there. So, I figure you told Rooster, and Rooster went to get those weapons. And I guess he sent some carts with donkeys and cows pulling the wagon train. The cart got to jostling, set off those volatile weapons, and they blew themselves up. But even then, with the destruction that's there, it doesn't account for the amount of weapons that Amos said was stored there.
Do you take Amos's word for that?
At the moment, I'll take his word over yours.
That hurts. That really hurts.
Have we not done a good enough job
Who brought Amos into you?
There's more to this that's not quite adding up right now, but I aim to find out what that is.
So you figure we know? We know about as much as you know.
At that moment, Zaida,
Yeah.
you get a message through the sending stone.
Oh, boy.
The governor sends you a message saying, "We need to meet soon. Got some high-level players coming through. Meet with me at my place tonight." And this message is being sent directly to your mind.
Give me a second to think here. Zaida pulls out her token of the hollow battle hands and places it on the table in front of her. She says, I've never been a good soldier, but they told me I was a good captain. I was a good leader. And always tried to do right by the people who worked with me. So I'm going to try to do that right now. It was my idea to smuggle some of those weapons.
Now, for what reason would you need that much weaponry? Were you planning on selling it?
There was possibility of selling it. And that's the most likely outcome it probably would have faced. We do owe somebody a hefty sum, and we're pretty desperate for coin. But
You were attempting to transport enough munitions to supply a small army.
yeah, it looks pretty bad, but it wasn't exactly chaos we were hoping to sow. It was more just self-preservation. See,
Are
when
you
we
really gonna tell them the story?
look, I trust her more than I trust the governor. I'm gonna make an insight check on to see what her reaction is to me mentioning him.
Oh, nice.
Caraway May is usually stone faced and doesn't give away much, but when you mention the governor in context with the weaponry, you think you see her eyebrow raise at it, and she starts snapping and starts pointing to the guards around and signaling them to leave. And again, Cornelius, feeling undermined, says, You don't order my men around. And he'll say, You, guards, get out of here.
Caraway May, I like you and I respect you. Cornelius, I work with you. We have some understandings under our belts, but this
Yes, the situation.
this situation we're under with the governor, this doom of Damocles that he's put us under, I doesn't sit right.
You mean trying to kill us?
Well, what he does in the gray areas doesn't sit right with me. What he does to Rooster's people doesn't sit right with me. And I saw an opportunity to maybe shift the balance a little bit in the little guy's favor, even if it did cause a little chaos. And then she starts to explain about how when we first arrived in the city, the governor put us under this contract. And what are their reactions so far?
They exchange glances. Caraway May kind of looks at Cornelius every once in a while, but for the most part, they're keeping their poker face as they listen to you.
So I thought maybe something good had happened, but then Rooster's folks just really fucked it up. Those weapons were way too unstable. Battle hands, they don't really know what's up. I haven't given them much info other than telling them there would be a decent base of operations out there, that they could maybe start finding work in the cities. They really are straight shooters.
Caraway May crosses her arms and looks over the party. She'll reach out a hand and knock on the table. A door behind her opens into the room, and out steps Rooster.
Rooster, you scorch your tail feathers?
I really thought you were going to sell me out.
I thought you would have already sold me out, so I figured may as well sell myself out.
Nah, darling, I keep my word.
Yeah.
I explained the situation to Caraway May. She wanted to make sure that our stories matched up. What I told her was that I wanted the weapons because I'm trying to take down this governor. I kept a detailed record of everything he's doing out there in the gray area, and I turned it over to her. Caraway May then says, I've been looking into the governor's activities for quite some time now.
He's got some shady shit going on, and then Zaida's gonna pull her sending stone out and set it on the table in front of her. You seen one of these before?
Looks like your basic sending stone.
Guess who has the other one?
Let me guess, Governor Munchione himself.
The one and only. And I know you have no way of verifying this, but hell of a coincidence, but the guy just sent me a message. Says there's big players coming into town and he needs me tonight.
He said that? God, we're all gonna die.
I've always suspected something with him, but I could never prove it. Evidence is always gone and witnesses taken care of. If I could get some ears in on that meeting, then I think that I can do something about it. We can't really overthrow a government without probable cause.
I mean, I was just gonna do it with some shoddy weapons in a mercenary company that probably wouldn't be interested. But yeah, probable cause sounds like a good idea.
Whatever works, that seems fine. I just don't want to go to jail or be killed.
And Caraway May turns to Cornelius. So, Cornelius, do you think we should call in Edward on this one? Then Cornelius has a sour look on his face. He crosses his arms and says, I don't know. Is there money to be made on this?
That's what it always comes down to, doesn't it?
I'm just saying, you take out the governor, there's going to be a vacuum. And who's going to take that spot?
Maybe you guys could form some kind of council or something. That would be kind of good, right?
What I'm saying is, we topple the leadership, there's going to be a trickle effect. And what if it starts affecting my business?
That's what I'm saying. All of you sheriffs and whatnot can just come together and be the new leaders. It's good for everybody. I mean, all of you sheriffs are respected, ruled over cities and all of that.
Cornelius says, You're talking a lot of sense right now. And Rooster says, Huh, I ain't never thought of that.
I am a knowledge cleric.
Caraway May leans back in her chair and says, You do present quite the argument. I ain't never been one for that type of responsibility. But if it's for the betterment of my city, I don't mind. But we have to do this in one fell swoop. It all has to happen at once. You know what they say, don't wound what you can't kill. If we don't do it right, it's just going to be trouble for everyone. I don't know the extent of his network. We don't know what resources he has. We don't know what city guards might be loyal to him. Me, Cornelius, and Edward, I know when it comes down to it, the three of us, we always have each other's back. We have some loyal guards, but we don't know who's in his pocket. Zaida.
Yeah.
It seems like your captain came along, so maybe he can shed some light on some things.
Really? Captain came himself. All right.
Before you have much time to process this, maybe in the back of your mind you're thinking, he came with a question mark.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that.
Someone bursts through the door in a dramatic fashion with great dramatic flair. He tosses a cape to the side and says, It is I, your captain, and I am here to save the day, to alleviate you of your situation, to regale you with tales of my excellence. You know for a fact this is not your captain.
Yeah.
He's a familiar face in your mercenary band, but it is not your captain.
Huh. How do I feel about this guy? Is there a scam going on that I need to play along with, or is this guy a dick that I don't care for?
You know that this is Perry, and he is kind of the clown of the troupe, but he's a good-hearted person, and if he's here posing as the captain, then he's trying to protect someone, and it's a just play along situation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's actually still trying to read the situation and understand everything that's going on.
So good of you to come. There's a lot for you to catch up on here, but I'm so glad the hands are here. It's been too long.
Yes, yes, yes. We are all here. Yes, all of us are here. Here, not here in this place, but here in Terralina.
Oh boy. Whenever he makes a deception check, I would like to help him because he needs it.
He will attempt to deceive.
Or I can make my own deception check.
Yeah, make your deception, and I'll just add an arbitrary bonus to it.
Hell yeah! I didn't know you would take my letter so seriously, but I really appreciate your prompt arrival here. The sheriffs and I were just discussing the issue of the corrupt governor of this of these cities, and I was telling them how, we're up on the up and up, and we're always looking for work that's good paying, but also on the right side of history.
He says, "Yes, all 30 of our group are here." And then he winks at you.
Oh God, he's so subtle.
Yes, Perry is standing in for your captain, and he's really making a show of it. And Caraway May says, "We're going to need a lot more than 30 mercenaries. I don't care how good you are. We don't know how many guards are on his side and what resources he has. We don't know how far this goes."
Question: is there a mouse in this room?
Is there a mouse in the room?
Yes.
That's an odd question, but I would say no. Actually, would you like me to roll to see if there's a mouse in the room?
Yes.
I am rolling mouse check. There is a fucking mouse in here.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
That was a crit success. So there is a mouse in here. I don't know why, but there is.
I would like to hop down from my chair, so pick up the mouse, talk to it. Free action by me because I can automatically speak to small animals.
So from this little mouse, you hear squeaking. It kind of echoes in this stone chamber, and I guess you hop down and pick it up. What are you saying to this mouse?
I'll ask it if it's seen this fellow before. Zaida's friend. Two, how we could get out of here.
Because it was a quick success, and it's already ridiculous that there's a mouse in this underground cavern in this sealed interrogation room, I'm just gonna say that it managed to come in on the cloak of Perry.
Yes, okay. And then on the question of how do we get out of here?
It says, I don't know. Don't you people use doors?
Okay. Yes. Find a. If you know any passage to get out of.
If you're small enough, I could probably find a hole that we could go through. I'm not from here. I just got here. I don't know anything about secret passages, but I can look around. I could always get out.
Can you stay in my pocket for a little while?
Do you have snacks?
I'm sorry.
Do you have snacks?
Oh. I have snacks. Yes, I would have kept some of the oats that I ate. They would probably fallen into my pocket when I was hiding in the barrel.
Cornelius concedes and turns to Caraway May and says, "We gotta talk to Edward." Caraway May responds with, "If we're gonna bring Edward in on this, we gotta do this right. We gotta break it to him gently, cause if anything happens to his people, it would just break him. We gotta do this with no casualties. We can't get civilians involved. If you folks got any ideas, I'd be happy to hear them."
Well, I think that would depend on what he needs us to do tonight. I can try to get some more information from him using the sending stones. I can ask him for more specifics on what he's gonna need from us tonight, and
From what you know, he only told you to show up, and you can infer from that he'll be giving you more details when you show up.
we might need to hold off and let me get some information tonight, and is there a good way for me to contact you two?
How many?
So that
He's familiar with all of you?
I don't. Has he met Zexus? I think he did meet Zexus.
He did not meet Zexus.
He did not.
Zexus.
He's only met the three of you.
Excellent. All right. So
Caraway May says, I like to be cautious. I don't want to put any real plan into action until I have real evidence of his wrongdoing. We can set you up with some type of scrying tool, something one of you can wear on your person. It will transmit your conversation to us. We'll watch it, and if we deem it appropriate, we can make a move. When the time's right, that is.
maybe Celeste should hold it. She tends not to draw attention to herself the way I do.
Okay, no problem.
I suggest you have it as something tucked under your armor, or possibly just under your shirt.
A necklace of sorts. They won't mind her wearing it.
That could work. That means we'd have to fashion something special. We're taking a big risk here, but hopefully it all pays off. We're talking about a lot of people's lives here. Rooster, who had previously been silent, says, You see, I lost 2 good friends trying to get some of that weaponry, and I'm hoping they didn't die for nothing. I told them to be careful out there, but they didn't listen. They tried to hurry, got that car to rocking. Next thing I know, I lost 2 of my best friends. 2 of my family members gone like that.
That's really sad.
So that explosion is the result of a role I did a couple of months ago that I told you guys would come into play later. Zaida, your captain, not captain, Perry, says, Shall I accompany you, Zaida, to this meeting? I'm sure that I can offer my services. He's probably heard of our group. I could be quite convincing and can, coax a little more information from him.
I look at him and his frankly abysmal ability to bullshit, and I just say, Captain, as much as I would love to have you as backup, I feel like this is a precision run, and maybe you should be coordinating with the sheriff. Respectfully, sir.
Yes. I see. What you're saying is, he would be more suspicious if someone he hasn't seen before would show up.
Right.
As always say that you are so clever.
Aw, thanks, Cap.
And with that, we will end the session here tonight.